Hi everyone, and welcome back to my junk journal and another junk journal entry. I got one of the Smash book bands on my book just to keep it closed, or just more like a bookmark, I guess, so I know what page I'm on, because I've been really totally journaling in this book a lot, like written journaling. But I thought I would do another junk journal entry. This page, though, I just wanted to show you, I think I showed you all those tags that I'd made with the tea and the coffee and all that stuff. So I've just been kind of adding them to my junk journal, and this was from a movie I saw, and there's some great quotes, so I put them there. And then I think I've got some more back here. The 4 agreements that I like to try to live my life by, the 4 agreements. And so just adding them throughout. And then one day I was cleaning out my purse, and so I just put everything that was in my purse in my junk journal. I stole this page from an actual page that is in a Smash journal, and it says, currently I'm listening, eating, drinking, wearing, feeling, wanting, needing, the weather, thinking, and enjoying, and then you just fill in the answers. So I think I'm going to put a few more of those in blank form and then just fill them in. It's kind of a quick way to journal. And if you're noticing this bandage on my arm, it's really not that big of a deal. I got a burn, yes. Well, I opened the lid and the steam just spewed out, this hot steam. Oh my Christmas, did that ever hurt. Every house should have a ginormous bottle of this. I cannot believe how much better it felt. That's why I have that on there today. So, like I tried to cut my wrist, but no. It's just aloe vera gel. So anyway, I'm going to use this page, or even the back of this one. Yeah, I'll use the back of this one. And I'm going to first start off with covering the page up with text. I'm going to use gel medium just to tear the pieces down, and I'm just going to tear it. I just want the odd piece down there. I'm just creating a background with it, and I'm going to be putting some gesso over top of it later, but I feel in the mood to kind of play around with all kinds of messy stuff today. So yeah, but my page today is called X to the 3rd power. And you're probably wondering, what the heck is that Looney Tune going to talk about today? See, that's how I keep you guys watching. I sort of tell you what it's going to be about, and then you have to stay tuned to figure out why I would say something like that. But X to the 3rd power, it came to me the other day as a formula. And what happened, I'll back up a little bit before I got to my magic formula. Let me just make sure this is in camera. Yes. I was having one of those days where, first of all, my husband had a really, really bad cold. And I mean, it just knocked him out. So when my husband is down for the count, that's like, we're not like 2 full people. It's like 1.5, him being the 1 and I being the half as far as doing things around the house. So when he's out of it, or not feeling well, 1 man down. So that was my strike 1 right there. Strike 2 wouldn't have been so bad if on a regular day I myself was feeling okay, but I wasn't feeling okay. So that was strike 2. So I decided I got up in the morning not feeling well. He wasn't feeling well, and of course he went to work anyway, not feeling good, but some of the just everyday things were just getting behind, like even the dishes, just all that kind of stuff. And you know, when you're not feeling well and things aren't done, you just kind of, yeah. So strike 1 was him not feeling well. So I would just say that's 1X. Okay? or x to the first power. And then the second power, of course, was me not feeling well. And I was trying to do too much as usual, and which normally isn't that big of a deal. But that particular day, it was just the second X. So on any other day, what I'm trying to say is on any other day, any one of those things by themselves isn't a big deal. You just cope with whatever. So then that particular morning I got up. It was one of those mornings where you get up and you feel like you haven't had a good night's sleep, so you're still tired. So then I came down to the kitchen and I opened the cupboards, and our cupboards were bare. I mean, just call me Mother Hubbard, okay? The cupboards were bare. There wasn't, like, the basic things, the most basic of things, like eggs and milk and fruit and things like that our freezer always has food in it, you know what I mean? But your basic things that you need just to get by, nothing, nada. So I'm like, okay, so I've got to go get groceries, knowing that I don't feel well, knowing that I should wait or get someone, get some help or something, but oh no. So that was my real strike too. Then I came downstairs and I looked at the kitchen and I looked in the fridge. I'm just applying gesso to this text now. I continued to add gesso to this page, and then I just wiped some of it off because I didn't want to hide all the text, but I wanted the text to be kind of subtle. So I'm just going to put this over to the side to dry. And just before I continue with my X to the third power story, I'll show you what I'm doing. I am going to make this little person. She's going to be me. I love these Dilution stamps by Diane Revelry. Oh, they're so funky and cool, and they're great for people that do art journaling. I've got another one of hers that's a whole bunch of borders and stuff, but I absolutely love these stamps. So I'm going to use these legs here and that face, and I started coloring them with my new Tim Holtz distress markers. So I'm just going to continue on with that. And so, so back to my story. So, as a recap, my husband was sick, and then our cupboards were bare, and I wasn't feeling that well, so that was X to the second power. And then I came downstairs first thing in the morning, and I took one look at my kitchen sink, and it wasn't even that bad. It wasn't anything and like I said, I opened up the fridge, and my fridge was just full of a whole bunch of, I like to call them science experiments, those containers when you don't know what's in them. And it was just overwhelming. It was too much. The thought of having to, clean out the kitchen, and then clean out the fridge, and then go and get groceries, because it wasn't just a little bit of groceries, it was like our major grocery haul. It was just overwhelming. So I started crying. I had a complete meltdown. Like, I was boo-hoo-hooing. I'm sure you guys could hear me. Probably went outside and thought you heard some rare bird. That was me, boo-hooing. And I thought, I can't do this. I can't do this. So this was strike 3. And so I called my daughter, and she was at home, and I was like, oh, there's no groceries, and I don't feel good, and blah, blah, blah. And she was so calm, and she just said, well, you know what? That's when you ask for help. I'll be right over. I'll help you clean up. We'll go over to the grocery store. We'll get your groceries. And that was all I needed her to say. It was like when she said that, I just kind of got like a shot of energy, and I was able to cope again. And it was like amazing that when I was lying down in bed that night, I realized the formula for burnout is like, you know how people say 3 strikes, you're out? But I was like, X to the third power equals burnout. Or you can turn that in x to the third power equals ask for help. And I know it sounds like in this video that I'm sounding like I was a whiny baby, but I'm one of those people that thinks they can do everything. I think I can do everything. I think I can push myself to the limit. I don't like to rest. I don't like taking naps. But you know what? Nobody is without burnout. I don't care who you are. There's going to come a time when you're going to burn out. And or I should speak for myself, but I know me, I just think asking for help is a sign of weakness, I guess. But the opposite is true. Not asking for help is when I was at my weakest point. My daughter came. There was no judgment call made like, how dare you cry and fall apart. Oh no, she came, she brought her little boy, she took me to the grocery store, we had a few laughs, we went out for lunch, and then she came in, unpacked all of my groceries. I just was like, you are the sweetest person, oh my goodness. But in her mind, it was like, but Mom, you just have to ask if you need help. It's just not a big deal. And I know that's true, and I know that if it was a friend of mine and it was happening to somebody else, I would feel the same way. And I was like a blubbering fool, crying about dishes and a few moldy things in the fridge. Like, seriously? But it was just, everyone has a breaking point. That was mine. So I thought I would do a page to remind me of the formula for asking for help. X to the third power. That's what it is, people. Ask for help. So I am just coloring, you can see here, the different distress colors, and they all match the distress inks. Like this one here, that purple, is Dusty Concord, and it also has a fine tip on one end. And they journal beautifully. I'll just write it down here. I'll just write my name. Monica, see? So they're beautiful journalers. So these are fun. If you haven't bought these yet, I really recommend them. So this funky chick is going to be me. And I just have to color her lips and my sunglasses. And then I'm going to cut this out. And I will mount this onto the page. And give myself some nice pink rosy lipstick. Very nice. And I understand, see, I missed a little bit of the brown there, and you can take your brush and go back in. Okay, so I'm just going to go cut this out and get back to my page. I'm going to take the new Tim Holtz limited edition Distress inks, just because I want to see what colors they are. I haven't played with them yet. So this one's called Shaded Lilac. So I'm just going to kind of open it up and just kind of just rub it. Ooh, that's pretty. It's almost like a chalky purple. Rub that across the page. And then I am going to do that again with, I think I'll use a shade. This is called Squeeze Lemonade. Ooh, look how pretty. I don't want to get any of that purple on the Squeeze Lemonade pad. So just kind of get it in there. And then my favorite one is Peacock Feathers. Gorgeous blue. It's kind of a bluey green. Oh, it's beautiful. Love this. So I'm going to have to take the book so that I can get it along the sides here and just smear it in like that. Then I'm going to add just a little spritz of water. I told you I just felt like playing today, and that's what I'm doing. Just a little spritz. I'm going to leave it and let it just do what it does, and I'll just kind of blot it up with this paint rag without taking too much of it up. Okay, next I am going to dry this off, and then I'm going to take some bubble wrap right here, and I'm going to cut off some pieces of this, and I'm going to put it in black archival ink, and I'm just going to make some add to the background just to make this. I always find that black grounds a page a little bit more when you have black on it. So, boy, it takes to this bubble wrap really nice. Look at that. So I'm just pressing the bubble wrap up against the ink pad, and I'm just going to kind of just randomly give it a little bit more. Ooh, that's cool. Dimension. Very neat. And a little bit, just kind of random second generation stamping, just to get all the ink off of it. Now, I've got lots of Tim Holtz elements in this page. I'm going to be using my mat. Find the X in here, and I am going to do X to the 3rd power. So there's a pretty good X right there. I'll take that one. I don't know if you've ever done masking, but it is absolutely awesome. I love it. So there's my clear X. See that? And I'm just going to put this up here. You can't really see it on the page, and you're not supposed to yet. So I'm also going to take a number 3 and do the exact same thing. And then I'm going to get kind of a rosy or orange colored distress ink and just twirl it around here. And so you can see, can you see how the X is popping? It's awesome. The 3 wasn't stuck down as well, so I will just, there we go. So I hope you guys, if you're ever getting like me, that you are smart enough to ask for help. Honestly, we need to honor ourselves as women. We are wonderful. We did ourselves a little bit of a disservice in the 70s when we wanted equal rights with men. And that is true. We should have equal pay and be paid the same fee for doing the same job. But we are not equal to men. What we do is a completely different thing. We're designed to have children if that's what we choose to do. But in having children, that in itself becomes a whole full-time job. Those mothers out there that know that. And then you go to work at a full-time job. And then should you have a job where you're a caregiver, and then you have to come home and be a caregiver, I guarantee something is going to give. It may not be physical, but it's something emotional. Something's going to give. Okay, so I outlined around my X to the 3rd power there with just an ultrafine Sharpie because it still didn't pop out enough to me. I should have kept the background quite white, but anyway, the point is there. So then I was going to put my little lady, who's me, on the page, but she got a little washed out. So I'm going to take a playing card with the 3s on it. It's almost like strike 3, X to 3rd power, and I am going to put it here, and I don't mind that it sticks out, but I'm just going to grunge this card up a little bit and just kind of tear it up and ink it all up and just, yeah, play around that way with it. There, and then I'm going to put her in the middle of the card like so. And then I also have this, it's a Tim Holtz ticket, and it says trust on it. And I think that's one thing that we just never do, is trust that it's going to be okay to ask for help. I mean, it really is. I don't know why we're so stubborn and think that we have to do everything. I don't get it. Don't understand it, because I know if somebody asks me for help, I don't mind helping. And it's the same if you're having a birthday party or a family function. Ask people to bring something. People love to try new recipes, especially now with Pinterest. People are just dying to try out some of that stuff, so ask them to. Nobody minds. It's just that we don't want to ask, and we think we can do it all. Okay, I'm just really crumpling all this stuff up and distressing it, and yeah, so it's not so bright white. So I'm just going to attach that and finish scrunching up my card, and I will be right back. So here's my page, and you guys saw me add a little bit of stickles around the wings there just to make them pop, and I really like the way she looks on that card because it really pops off the page. So x to the third power equals ask for what you need. It doesn't need to equal burnout. It means ask for help, and we all want to help each other, so don't be afraid to ask. I can't imagine anyone that would ever say no. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye. I'm just back again. I just wanted to see how many of you noticed that I didn't put the word need. I had ask for what you need. Ask for what you need. Okay, bye.